Okay, first up today, Senator Higdon has to make his way to Transportation Committee. So, sir, the floor is yours. If you could introduce yourself for the record and your guest, and you may begin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Senator Jimmy Higdon, 14th Senate District. And I want to start off today by thanking the youth advocates across the state that participated in the process. And I know a lot of y'all heard from them. I have two of them with me here today that would like to make a brief statement.
Well, good morning, and thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Mallory Jones, and I'm a high school senior here in Kentucky. I'm representing a generation of youth who are one of many to be strategically manipulated by and subjected to the predatory practices of the tobacco industry. As a youth advocate and heart survivor, I'm concerned about what I'm seeing in my school, among peers, and in my community. In Kentucky, 1 in 10 middle school students and 1 in 5 high school students use e-cigarettes. It's happening in every school, in every corner of our state. Kids as young as 9 or 10 are seeing those intentionally flashy, colorful, fun-flavored products containing sometimes as much nicotine as 20 cigarettes or more on the shelves. A lot of curiosity in one puff later, and the rest becomes history. The science has supported that for years. 43% of 15 to 20-year-old e-cigarette users were illegally sold these products by a retail store. It is not by accident that we have a youth e-cigarette usage crisis. It's happening because beyond the hundreds of millions of dollars that the tobacco industry spends each year targeting kids, they continually have been allowed to interfere in the legislative process, influencing lawmakers with lobbying and financial support. It's time for us to put Kentucky kids ahead of tobacco. I'm asking that you not just hear me today, but act boldly, decisively, and with the courage to put the health and future of our youth above all else. Right now, youth are among those most vulnerable to the predatory tactics of big tobacco. But together, and with the passage of unamended Senate Bill 100, we can change that for young Kentuckians.
Good morning. My name is Griffin Nemeth. I'm the Youth Advisory Board Coordinator for the hashtag I Can End the Trend program at the University of Kentucky. I couldn't say it better than Mallory when she says that nicotine dependence and the accessibility of these nicotine products poses a real threat to Kentucky youth everywhere. Today, we're just asking that you give our young people a fighting chance by protecting them at the point of sale. Kentucky is one of only about 10 states that does not have any form of tobacco retail licensure, a measure proven effective at reducing youth accessibility to and use of tobacco and nicotine products. Tobacco retail licensure is not an anti-business measure. Just like you, we care about supporting the growth and integrity of Kentucky's small businesses and the economy as a whole. The only businesses who will be harmed by tobacco retail licensure are those acting criminally, selling nicotine products illegally to underage kids. As I look around the room right now, I'm 100% certain that none of you are okay with a young child vaping. Many of you have or had young children at one point, and you understand. I wish I could tell you that there is some measure that would eliminate youth vaping completely, but that's just not the case. But what I can tell you is that 90% of adult smokers started before the age of 18. Speaking in my capacity as a pharmacy student at UK, in the healthcare setting, we advise every patient who uses any tobacco or nicotine product that quitting is the best thing that they can do for their health today. But wouldn't it be wonderful to imagine a world where they never started, where they're never subjected to the negative health consequences that we know come with use of these products? Powerful policy with retailer licensing, annual compliance checks, and strong escalating penalties for violations is a proven measure to reduce youth access and curb youth use. Without any industry amendments to negate from the licensing portion any weak directives to ABC simply to ask that they do something about the crisis. That's not enough. We need strong policy. That's the solution that Kentucky's been looking for and the one that it needs. It's the one that we need to protect the health of our youth today and tomorrow. And today, this committee and this committee alone has the power to ensure that that happens. Thank you for your time today.
Mr. Chairman, I'll be very brief and give you the Cliff Notes version. This bill, is after the bad actors. We have a lot of good retailers. In fact, probably 99.8% of the retailers in Kentucky run good businesses and follow the rules and would never sell to an underage person. But this, like I said, this bill is after bad actors. This bill has teeth, that the ABC can enforce and get rid of bad actors. This bill, Mr. Chairman, includes updates to House Bill 11 from last year. It makes cigarettes and vapes more like alcohol and puts them under the purview of ABC. It also has regulations on nitrous oxide, laughing gas, puts that bans the sale of that to anyone under 21. Parts of the bill, Mr. Chairman, the House Bill 11 portion of the bill goes into effect. It has an emergency clause, goes into effect right away. The parts dealing with Senate Bill 100 go into effect January 1, 2026. The basic change to Senate Bill 100 was it raised the fee for a license from $250 to $500. And like I said, this bill does have teeth in it, Mr. Chairman. Be glad to answer any questions.
Okay. Hold on. We do have a committee sub, but before we do the motion on the committee sub, Mallory Jones, I believe your father is Brad Jones.
Yes, that's correct.
Him and I traveled the world together, courtesy the United States Marine Corps 24 years ago. So awfully good to see you up here, and we're proud of everything you've accomplished.
Thank you.
Very proud. He's a great American. So do we have a motion on the committee sub? We have a motion on the sub. Is there a second? We have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Sub carries. Do we have a motion on the bill? We have a motion. We have a second. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Representative All.
Yes.
Representative Banta.
Yes.
Representative Callaway.
Aye.
Representative Kleins.
I'd like to note my presence, and I'm a yes.
Representative Dietz.
Yes.
Representative Donworth.
Yes.
Representative Pfister.
Yes.
Representative Flannery.
Aye.
Representative Gentry.
Yes.
Representative Hampton.
Yes.
Representative Heverin.
Yes.
Representative Huff. Representative Jackson.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Kulkarni.
Yes.
Representative Meredith. Representative Neighbors.
Yes.
Representative Raymer.
Yes.
Representative Smith. Representative Wilson. Chairman Cook.
I'm a yes. Bill carries. Look forward to hearing it on the House floor. Thank you very much for being here. Mallory, if you'll hold on, I want to take a picture with you real quick while Senator Rocky Adams is making her way to the table.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee.
Chair.
Okay.
Chair Cook,
Yes, ma'am.
if I could record my presence, please.
Where's that voice coming from? Oh, there you are. Yes, Representative Callaway.
Thank you.
Okay, Senator Julie Rocky Adams, if you'll make sure your green light's on, introduce yourself for the record, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Julie Rocky Adams, Senate District 36, and I am here to talk about Senate Bill 202. I understand you all have a sub. Do you all do that before or after?
Yes, do we have a motion on the committee? We have a motion on the sub. Is there a second? We have a second by Representative Pfister. All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, nay. Sub's in play.
Thank you. So Senate Bill 202's goal was just to put some reasonable, common sense public health guardrails around this explosion of cannabis-infused beverages. So they're being sold at gas stations, liquor stores, vape shops, you name it. We're seeing these beverages proliferate across the Commonwealth. And this came to our attention last September during an L&O committee meeting where a lot of people testified that we needed to pay attention to this product and we needed to put some guardrails around it because of the lax enforcement. And I'll just give you, for instance, that just down the street from the Capitol, you can buy one of these cannabis-infused beverages at a vape shop that's 100 milligrams in a in a can, that is the equivalent of someone drinking an entire bottle of vodka or an entire bottle of bourbon. That's the potency equivalency. So this is some really serious stuff that's out there. Everybody from that September meeting started coming to the table and talking about how can we put some controls on this to protect kids from getting their hands on it. Everyone except the hemp industry. And it's just been in the last week and a half that we've had the hemp industry really engage on this. Unfortunately, there's been no kind of common denominator in what that industry has asked for. We've kind of been all over the map. So what we've done with 202 is try to put some common sense parameters around this so that it's just a starting step. We will continue to make progress as we go along and more people engage. But I think this is a good place to start.
Motion on the bill.
We have a motion and a second, but we also have a few people signed up to speak against, and I know we're going to have several questions as well. So, Senator Rocky Adams, do you have any more you want to explain, or do you want to let the hemp industry come up and speak for a minute, or how would you like to proceed here?
Well, and I might, some of the things in the sub may alleviate some of their
I think,
concerns, so
yeah.
I'll be real quick. So first of all, there's no moratorium on this product. Second of all, what we do is we define cannabis-infused beverage at a 5 milligram level in a 12-ounce can. And then it will fall under the purview of the Distilled Spirits Administrator. CHFS regulations are still in effect for the manufacturing and the testing of the product. What we do is we put the enforcement into ABC. We just heard testimony that vapes are wanted to be under ABC because of enforcement. I think this is a good place too for cannabis-infused beverages. It adds this intoxicating product through the 3-tier system, and then it maintains the language that the University of Kentucky shall report back to the General Assembly by November 1st on manufacturing, testing, distribution, sales, and consumer effects. It allows the wholesalers, distributors, or retailers, it gives them until June 1 to exhaust their product that may be over 5 milligrams. That way, no one is out any money with the inventory that they currently have. And then lastly, it carves out all festivals and fairs until January 1 of 26. A lot of these companies have made investments in festivals and fairs, and so we're going to allow them to have that play out until January 1st. And and then there's one more. That a lot of people were mad that they couldn't distribute if they didn't have a license for alcohol. This puts in the ability to allow stores to get a license so that they can continue to sell this product. They just have to show that that's what they're selling. And so with that, I'll step away. And
Okay, thank you for your testimony. Okay, we have 5 people signed up. And you all can do this if you want to come up and all 5 of you speak, that's fine. We're going to you have about 10 minutes or so to get through your testimony. So if you want to have one spokesperson, that's fine. However you guys want to do that, but you'll have about 10 minutes here. Welcome. Make sure your green light is on, and then if each of you could go through and just introduce yourself for the record and say what organization you're with.
I'm going to jump in first real quick. My name's Dee Dee Taylor. I'm with the Kentucky Hemp Association. I am the current president, and I also own 502 Hemp Wellness Center. I just wanted to clarify
Let's
something.
go ahead. Let's have everybody introduce themselves for the
Okay.
record.
Hello, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Jim Higdon. I'm co-founder of Cornbread Hemp from Louisville, Kentucky.
Annie Rouse from Cannabis Bar and Dispensary.
Nancy Roberts. I'm testifying as a consumer.
Very good. Dee Dee, you may begin.
I just wanted to clarify for everyone. I actually was here in September along with my husband, who is an Army veteran, and we did speak out against this. It was kind of thrown at us real quick, but we actually were here. So I just wanted to make sure I was very clear about that. Also, the 100 milligram drink that has been referred to quite a number of times, it is actually 10 servings, and it has a reclosable seal on the top of it. I just wanted to make sure I pointed that out It's not to be drank all at once. And if you actually purchase that product at a liquor store or at another convenience location, they're not going to be able to educate you on that fact. We do, the hemp retailers do, we actually educate. But today I wanted to read this real quick for a very, very good customer. He is a veteran, and he sent this email late last night. Dear representatives, I am a veteran. I am a father. I am a husband. I am a recovering alcoholic. I am an epilepsy warrior. My seizures are military service related and didn't begin until my late 30s. I started using full spectrum hemp oil in 2010 because none of the daily 28 prescription pills were working. Hemp oil changed my life. I began making my own in my home and went seizure free for numerous years. However, my alcoholism truly took a turn for the worse in 2020 during the pandemic. I also started having seizures again. Sorry. And my neurologist at the VA said it was due to alcohol withdrawal whenever I would go a few days without drinking. And just so you know, I would find him in the floor having grand mal seizures, wondering if he was going to die. So I was left with a choice: never drink again and regain my seizure-free status, or continue on the path of an early death. I chose to live and am now sober, but only because of hemp beverages. They literally changed my life. Instead of alcohol, I drink a hemp beverage. It helps me unwind, and I do not have any of the negative side effects like I did from alcohol. Now those drinks are at risk of being moved to the alcohol industry with SB 202, and I am utterly disgusted that I would now be forced to go into a liquor store to get this wellness product. Not all hemp stores are going to be able to get this license. The temptation to drink again would be a detriment to my health and to my marriage. As a veteran, I should be able to go into a hemp store and buy these products. After all, they are federally legal and just hemp. Unlike alcohol, there is no fatal dose. Alcohol will kill you. I watched many family members die from alcoholism and refuse to be just another alcohol death statistic. Hemp beverages should be readily available at hemp retailers, and the retailers shouldn't be forced to get a liquor license to sell these products. They also shouldn't be forced to limit the milligrams. He needs a high dose. I implore you to vote no on SB 202. This bill is bad for veterans, for small businesses, and for anyone not wanting to drink poison to unwind. Thank you.
My goodness, I hesitate to follow that, but for the sake of time, hello again, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Jim Higdon, co-founder of Cornbread Hemp. I appreciate the attention to this matter because hemp beverages do indeed need to be regulated by this body. We just hope that it could be improved somewhat than what has come out of the Senate. News to me this morning that the festivals and fairs have been exempted from the ban on on-premise sales. I'd like to thank the chairman, and the chairwoman for making that exemption for the industry. However, I would like for the committee to reconsider the ban on on-premise sales writ large. That's about 30% of this business, of this industry, and so it's something what we would like you to reconsider. Also, we'd like you to reconsider the fact that the 5 milligram cap, which is equivalent to a light beer, Tennessee has set a 25 milligram per serving cap, and we would appreciate consideration along Tennessee's lines in that regard. And then we were surprised yesterday by a shell bill in appropriations and revenue that taxed these products like distilled spirits instead of like beer. I would like the committee or to reconsider that notion. You're allowing us a light beer equivalent, but we're being taxed like it's wild turkey. And then again, we understand that this is moving to the ABC instead of the Cabinet for Health and Services, but we've spent 2 years working with the CHFS to build regulations based off the authority of HB 544, the Delta 8 bill from 2 years ago, authored by a member of this committee, Representative Raymer, and it'd be a shame to remove all that work that we've done with the cabinet to send it over to the ABC for enforcement. So we'd like you to reconsider that notion on a floor amendment as well. And those are our recommendations from Cornbread Hemp. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. I would echo that as well. My name is Annie Rouse. I'm a University of Kentucky graduate in economics. I have a master's in policy, an MBA, and was a Fulbright scholar on hemp. I'm here today to urge you to vote no on SB 202. My company is an approved, licensed, and registered Kentucky hemp manufacturer, distributor, and retailer of our Kentucky Proud branded products. If this bill were to pass, it would wipe out 2/3 of our business operations and considerably diminish a return on a $2 million investment that we're making into Kentucky's economy over the next 2 years. In its current form, SB 202 will unnecessarily disrupt a viable $330 million agriculturally based Kentucky economy that employs 3,000 people statewide. It was hastily written without consideration of the feedback of the hemp industry, the one stakeholder group that actually understands the vast, complex nature of the situation. SB 202 creates an excessive burden on an industry that already follows regulations that were implemented in 2024. We don't need new regulations. We need better enforcement. This bill also violates federal law and is liable for lawsuit. Kentucky's hemp industry has already won a lawsuit against the state for contravening federal law, and we will do it again if necessary. Furthermore, it is anti-business at a time when we must be pro-business, particularly pro-Kentucky business. Yet SB 202 favors out-of-state producers. Under current regulations, I can manufacture a Kentucky-made product to any milligram concentration so long as it is legal in the state where it is being sold. This is pro-business. But under SB 202, I'm limited to an arbitrary 5 milligrams when consumer demand typically trends upwards of 25. As a Kentucky manufacturer, how am I supposed to compete in a national market when the state won't let me manufacture what consumers demand? Currently, the United States is in a precarious economic situation with a national trade war implications similar to those exacerbated by the Great Depression. Kentucky's bourbon industry is already a victim of this trade war. In these challenging times, it is not a time to be forcing detrimental legislation down the throats of an industry that supports job growth. But if SB 202 passes, particularly as an emergency, 1,300 registered retailers by the Cabinet of Health will not be able to sell these products, a product category that makes up 20 to 30% of retailers' revenue. This is because SB 202 restricts hemp beverages to liquor stores, but Publix had a hard time getting 3 of these liquor store retail licenses. How do you expect 1,300 small businesses to do the same? If you are pro-Kentucky business, you will vote no on SB 202. And these 1,300 retailers are not only essential to the economy, but also to consumer health. Liquor store staff aren't educated on products like these, and because these products are new and complex, consumers have a lot of questions. As a hemp retailer, that's what we pride ourselves on. Our customers trust and know that we can answer their questions. But with SB 202, consumers searching for stress-relieving alternatives in a monumentally stressful time won't have that option. If you are truly worried about consumer health and are advocating for that, then you will vote no for SB 202. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Nancy Roberts. I am a retail business owner, but I'm testifying this morning as the wife of an alcoholic in recovery. My husband has been disabled with chronic Lyme disease for 10 years with untreatable depression, anxiety, unrelenting tinnitus, and extreme insomnia. He attempted to treat his symptoms with alcohol in desperation because nothing else worked, and it nearly destroyed him and my family. He uses hemp products, including beverages for sleep and symptom relief. I do understand the common sense effort to control milligrams, but because of my husband's issues, 5 milligrams is like water to him. He literally needs 100 milligrams to even sleep, and he will not be able to drink this many 5 milligram beverages. I do not want to see my husband or anyone in alcohol recovery to be faced with their biggest temptation when they are shopping for hemp beverages. Having hemp drinks and alcohol side by side will blur the lines and confuse people. Last night, my husband told me that part of addiction is the OCD. It's the habit. And to be walking into a liquor store a couple times a week to buy their hemp beverages is dangerous. We do want to protect children. We also want to protect our entire community of citizens, including those who have alcohol-related issues. So another issue is when people go in, they can combine beverages. My son pointed this out last night, and get unexpected excessive intoxication. There is a big difference between hemp and alcohol, and liquor store clerks and gas station clerks are going to be very unprepared to advise customers about dosing and using drinks for symptom relief. Keep hemp drinks with knowledgeable businesses that can best guide us for health and safety. Allow our permitting process that is already in its place to do its job and continue to regulate these drinks, keeping them safely in permitted and state-regulated stores. I agree. Enforcement by CHFS is what we need. We don't need this to go over to the ABC, and they just get started. Let them do their job. And most importantly, let's give people like my husband who can benefit from these drinks and do the best education and understanding of how to use them responsibly. Please vote no on SB 202.
Thank you. Representative Gentry, you have a question?
My question was to the bill sponsor.
Okay, hold on to that one. We'll bring her back up in just a second. Representative All, do you have a question for this group or for the bill sponsor?
I think so.
You think so?
I
on
think
both,
so.
or?
I think I don't know. So
Okay.
I'm getting conflicting answers on the Tennessee 25 milligram or whatever cap, and ours is 5, or our proposed is 5. Is the Tennessee 25 cap on edibles, or is it on their beverage products as well?
I think it's edibles.
Yeah, I believe it's one regulation for both, if I'm not mistaken.
And so I was told when I walked in that there's a discussion on a bill that would include the 25 cap right now in the Tennessee General Assembly, but it has not passed yet.
It's a regulatory control that's in Tennessee.
So it's a regulation, not a statute, I believe.
So there is a regulation in Tennessee now for both the edibles and for the weed water or the hemp-infused beverage products for also the 25 cap.
That's our understanding.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's bring the Senator Rocky Adams back up. Oh, did you have a question? I did. One more question first.
Do you all have an estimate of what the economic impact is of hemp in Kentucky right now?
It's a $330 million economy that employs 3,000 people.
Okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that is when we did not have any hemp until 2013?
We had no hemp at all, no industry, no economy until the Farm Bill passed in 2014. Between 2014 and 2018, it was a research program that was very new, started getting things going. Products, started moving. In 2023, the bill passed on putting this regulation in the hands of the Cabinet of Health, and over the last year and a half, the industry itself has been working with the cabinet. We participate in open comment periods to then create these regulations that are actually nationally recognized by the industry as the best.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's bring up Senator Rocky Adams. We have a question from Representative Gentry and then Representative Callaway, and then we're going to, we have a motion and we'll move on. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Senator Adams. And first of all, I want to say thank you very much for your efforts and work on addressing these issues. It's not an easy issue, and I understand that. There's a lot of different levels of complexity to this situation. And, as legislators, we often find ourselves with friends on both sides, and it puts us in a difficult position. We're trying to reach fairness for all parties, and I appreciate the changes you've made recently to the bill. I think you keep improving the bill every time you make a change, and I appreciate that. My question, I always try to look at complex situations and break them down into common sense perspectives. I guess I learned to do that when I learned how to be a scientist. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to wrap my head around this, and the alcohol industry and wholesalers have come to me and they have said that they seek parity. I understand that. And who came up with the 5 milligrams, and why 5 milligrams, and help me understand that.
Yeah, that's one that has been a constant source of consternation in trying to get to a really good place. So actually, when we did the bill in the Senate, I had a really large manufacturer in Louisville come to me and say it needs to be 5 milligrams, because I didn't know. And they're primarily sold in Total Wine, and they told me 5 milligrams. And, you know, and I appreciate all the conversations that we've had in the last 10 days. But I will tell you, after we came out with the 5 milligrams, I was told by 2 of the people that just testified here, it needs to be 10 milligrams. It has to be 10 milligrams. And then today I got a note at my desk that said it needs to be 25 milligrams. And I'm not saying that other than I think it's indicative of the trouble that we're having in wrapping our arms around where we land. And so the Johns Hopkins study put at 3.75 is when it begins the intoxicating effects. So we thought 5 milligrams was above that study. So we thought that was a good place to start. And I also want to emphasize that it's really important that, and I've communicated this with the industry, this is just a starting place. We revisit bills all the time. And will we revisit this? 100%. Should we talk about it in the interim? 100%. Will we get to an even better place? 100%. But we have to stop this proliferation. We have to stop the ability of these products getting into the hands of our kids. And so this is a tough thing. I mean, I'm not super popular right now, but I really believe in my heart that this is the absolute right thing to do right now. And so I would hope that the committee would support it, knowing that this is not the end. This is just the beginning.
Follow up?
Yes, thank you. And here's where I'm having issue with this. And again, I'm a big bourbon supporter. And I've got 9 years of voting record that says that. Mm-hmm. I know the importance of the bourbon industry to the state. And parity is a fair ask.
Yeah.
It really is. And but I don't see this bill as parity yet. I see it as almost hypocritical in a way, from the stance that we are seeking parity because we feel like this is an intoxicating substance, just as alcohol is. Mm-hmm. And from an enforcement standpoint, I fully understand how we might want to enforce similarly. The problem is we're taking these industries who have, by the way, have been very creative, entrepreneurial spirit, and have built an industry that evidently the consumer really likes their products. Mm-hmm. And that's an American thing. That's an American dream, and that's good. And we should be careful when we start stomping on that. But at the same time, you got to put guardrails around this, as you know. And if we're going to treat it like the alcohol industry, then why are we banning their intoxifying substances to most of their products, yet treating 5 milligrams and below like intoxicating substances? Does that make sense? I mean, that sounds like, to me, that sounds like you're an alcohol manufacturer, and you're going to get treated and taxed like that, like bourbon, but you're only going to be able to sell Michelob Ultra.
Well, I'll I don't have anything to do with the taxing issue on this. This is just kind of a regulatory piece of legislation. How the revenue is handled is above my pay grade, so I can't really speak to how that unfolded. But I will tell you, it's we have some really good people that operate in this space, and they have great stores, and they do a great job. All of those products are left alone. This bill only speaks to the intoxicating effects of the beverages, and I think maybe another point to make is you kind of hit the nail on the head. You can't really treat one intoxicating beverage different from another intoxicating beverage, and so here's where we are, and I don't think it's where we're going to end up, but we've got to start somewhere, and I think it's fair. You know, we have a lot of products that are on the shelves right now that haven't been approved by CHFS. A lot of products on the shelves, and we have an enforcement issue on these products because they're selling unauthorized products. And I think ABC is the appropriate place to go. And I think that this is a good bill. We've made a lot of changes. We've satisfied a lot of concerns. And I would appreciate a yes vote on this.
Thank you, and I'll just make this final comment and I'll be done, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate you giving me the time. Or Chairman, I'm sorry, I'm already upgrading you. I agree with you 100% that we should treat these products with parity. I don't believe the bill as it is written today does that because it bans all the products above 5 milligrams, and I think we should be more focused on putting guardrails about that, warning what the products are, because without getting deep into the weeds on this, I know this because I've done a lot of work in cannabis industry since I've been here, and I know products at different concentrations affects people different ways for a variety of reasons, and that's the complexity of what we're dealing with. So I'll shut up there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, quickly, Representative Callaway, and then we're going to have one more for Representative Cole-Carney to wrap it up.
Thank you, Chairman. I do want to thank those who came and testified today, and those who've taken time to visit with me regarding this. I want everyone to know that they've been heard, and I appreciate the sponsor, Senator Adams. I appreciate all the work that you've done to make sure that they've been heard, that you've done your research on it, and Representative Gentry and I, we share a border, and in this case, we actually share some similar concerns and attitude about this. I do want to echo the gratitude that was extended because you have listened. Some of the concerns I'm echoing as well, but I'll get really to the point. And I do agree that the hemp stores, I think, is something that we need to take into consideration going forward, that hemp stores are knowledgeable. They're going to be able to help consumers in a way that a clerk at a liquor store isn't able to help. And I do have concerns about people suffering with alcoholism having to go into a facility to purchase these items. So those are big concerns for me, and I know we're working on it. I get it. So I appreciate all the work that you've done. Again, I can't reiterate that enough. But I keep hearing about the CHFS enforcement. So my question, and I actually have two, if I can be indulged, and I'll make them quick.
We need to be very brief. We've got 4 other bills, so
okay. So I'm gonna just hit you with both of them, and you answer appropriately. So explain the expectation of enforcement for CHFS, and why is that not happening? And because this is in stores, and we keep hearing about challenges for these small businesses who are going to face having to purchase license, the 1,300 that were mentioned, the retailers that aren't going to be able to. How can we help them to get these licenses? How are we going to face those challenges going forward? Thanks.
Yeah, and first of all, I'll start out with nobody likes change. I mean, everybody would like to have exactly what's happening right now if you're in this industry. And so I get it. Change is really hard. But we're trying to be open to those issues. For instance, the bill does speak to a direct ship. So if you don't want to go into a liquor store, you can get it directly shipped to your house and you sign that you're 21 and you can accept it. So that issue we think has a workaround. But I do agree. I mean, I had an anecdotal situation where a guy, one of my constituents, he was driving to Florida, thought he was going in to buy a energy drink because it said non-alcoholic on the can, and had to pull off the road 20 minutes later because he was intoxicated. And his wife had to continue driving because he was impaired. And so the can said non-alcoholic, and he thought he was buying it. So to your point, these stores, I think, have a really important role in being able to discuss what this product is. And so I would be committed to making sure that we found a place for them as we move forward. Making it easier for them, because I do think they have a role. They're very knowledgeable on the products, and they serve a real purpose.
All right, Representative Cole-Carney, let's close this out.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, sponsor. And I have two quick questions. First, Senator Rocky Adams, you mentioned that this only applies to beverages and not other products. Do you know, or I don't know if some of the other folks testifying, I just want to know what percentage of, what is the scope of this? Like how much of the hemp products that are sold, what percentage are beverages versus other types of products?
I think that until about 12 months ago, that all of the other products had a more market share, and then in about the last 12 months, these cannabis-infused beverages have really exploded. So I believe that this is the real growth piece of that industry.
Thank you. And then my concern, and again, thank you for all your work. I appreciate the chairman carving out kind of fairs and festivals in Louisville. We're gearing up for a lot of events, so I appreciate that very much. But my question is kind of leading into that. What is the impact on the stores that exist now? If they have to go through an alcohol distributor, a retailer, what happens to the stores that exist now? Do they have to shut down as of June 1st?
No, and I don't know, store specific or site specific what their volume is on cannabis infused beverages versus other products. We did put in there June 1st of 25 of this year so that everybody can exhaust their current inventory, so that we're not going to have anybody out anything that they've already invested in. And I don't know. I mean, I think that is one of the most critical pieces of this moving forward, is really keeping that line of communication open so that we can understand where the pressure points are and where we need to move, and how we can support small businesses, but in a safe way, so that kids can't get their hands on this, so that we're doing it the right way, and we know what's on the label, we know what's in the can, all of those real public health pieces that we need to get right.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. We have a motion. Is there a second? We have a second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Representative All.
I'm going to pass this morning just because we got the sub at like 8:30 last night, and it's a 52-page sub, and I think as a matter of practice, we ought to get that with a little bit more time to read, so I'm going to pass this morning.
Representative Banta.
Yes.
Representative Callaway.
Briefly explain my vote.
Briefly.
I am a yes today. It does bother me that we have CHFS tasked with enforcing something and they're not doing their job. That's bothersome to me, that we're going to have to handle it this way. And so I reserve a no vote for the floor if necessary as we work on this. But thank you. Yes today.
Representative Kleins.
Yes.
Representative Dietz.
Yes.
Representative Donworth.
I'd like to briefly explain my vote, please.
Briefly.
This is a growing industry. We've gone from zero production to 330 million in the last 11 years, which is really amazing. this is not it is not just about Kentucky here. Other states around the country are looking to see what we do with alcohol regulations here. I think it's really important that we get this right, and I am very hesitant to keep working on things. I want to make sure that we are setting the precedent that the rest of the country can put in place without crippling our growing hemp industry. So I'm a no for now. I hope we can come back and get it right, because I do believe that we need to get the safety and enforcement piece in there, but I'm a no until we can get it right. Thank you.
Representative Pfister.
Yes.
Representative Flannery.
Aye.
Representative Gentry.
Very brief explanation.
More briefly.
I am open, but today I'm a no as it is written, because I still think there are some parity issues, and I think if we're going to treat this industry with intoxicating substances, that's fine, but let them sell their substances. Otherwise, we had testimony that somebody's going to lose 2/3 of their business. So I'd like to see something done on the milligrams there. Thank you.
Representative Hampton.
Yes.
Representative Hevron. Representative Huff.
Yes.
Representative Jackson.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Kulkarni.
Briefly explain, Chairman. I'm going to be, thank you. I'm going to pass today. I appreciate all of the work that's been done on this piece of legislation. I understand the impact and the impetus behind it. I am concerned about what will happen to the stores that have already invested money and time and resources. So I'd like to wrap my head around that piece a little bit more. So I'll be a pass for today.
Representative Meredith.
Briefly explain my vote.
Briefly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, I think I'm the only member of the committee that was here when we passed the initial hemp law back in 2011 or so, other than you, Senator Adams. And I really don't think that when that was contemplated back in 2011 or 12, whenever that was, that we contemplated anything like this proliferation in this space. And so I'm disturbed by how that has happened over the years and that process. I don't think the bill is perfect right now. I do have some concerns about the 5 milligram cap and some of the other issues that are there. But we have proven every step in this process, from the committee in the Senate to the Senate floor to here today, the bill has improved along the way. And so I'm going to vote yes today to continue moving that discussion along the way.
Representative Neighbors.
Yes.
Representative Raymer.
Yes.
Representative Smith. Yes. Representative Wilson. Yes. Chairman Cook.
Yes. Sixteen ayes, 2 nays, 2 passes. Bill carries, moves to the floor. Thank you. Okay. We have to go into fast forward mode here. Senate Bill 17. Come up, introduce yourself for the record. I understand this is exactly the same as the bill that we passed by Representative Demas. Is that correct? No changes at all. Motion on the bill. Do we have a second? All those in favor signify. Would you introduce yourself for the record briefly? Let's do that.
Yes, I'm Senator Shelley Funke from Meyer Senate District 24.
Mary Catherine DeLoder, Kentucky Birth Coalition.
Representative All, do you have a question briefly?
Why do we need to hear the bill if it's the exact same?
Okay, let's clerk close the roll.
Representative All.
Yes.
Representative Banta.
Yes.
Representative Callaway. Representative Kleins.
Yes.
Representative Dietz.
Yes.
Representative Donworth.
Yes.
Representative Pfister.
Yes.
Representative Flannery.
Yes.
Representative Gentry.
Yes.
Representative Hampton.
Yes.
Representative Hevron. Representative Huff.
Yes.
Representative Jackson. Representative Kulkarni.
Yes.
Representative Meredith. Representative Neighbors.
Yes.
Representative Raymer.
Yes.
Representative Smith. Yes. Representative Wilson. Yes. Chairman Cook.
Yes. Bill carries. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Is Senator Thomas in here? Right here. All right. Come on forward. All right. While he's coming up, I believe we have a committee sub on this. Do we have a motion on the committee? Do we have a motion and a second on committee sub? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries. The sub's in play. Senator Thomas, if you and your guests, make sure your green light's on. Introduce yourselves for the record, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chairman Cook. And Chairman Cook, I must admit I'm not brief, but you can cut me off at any time.
You have to be brief today.
I have with me Secretary Kerry Harvey. He's now the chair of the Board of Cosmetology. I have with me Mr. Mason McNulty, who's chair of the Barbering Board, and Mr. Joni Upchurch, who I'm pleased to say is now the new chair of the Board of Cosmetology.
Welcome.
Okay, this bill is started off as a improvement from Senate Bill 14, which many of you recall, in fact, all of you recall, we dealt with last year, that greatly improved the Board of Cosmetology. Representative Neighbors carried this bill for me on the floor. Okay, this bill does four things. One, it allows for unlimited examinations for all cosmetology license applicants. As you recall, we did that last year for nail technicians, estheticians. And over the summer, from your districts, I had people from Eastern Kentucky and Western Kentucky, people who want to be licensees cosmetologists say, look, you have unlimited number of exams for nail technicians, for estheticians. We want the same opportunity. Young ladies who missed it by 1 point. I said, I believe in fairness. I said, you're right. I want to change the bill to do that. Secondly, what the bill does is allow the Board of Cosmetology, because we do have, in a few instances, unlicensed individuals, acting and serving as nail technicians and estheticians. We want to stop that. We want to make sure that we do everything to provide safety and protection for the health of people who come and get manicures, pedicures. So it allows for that. Thirdly, we recognize, and the board recognizes, that if you can manage as a skill set, you can manage any item, any institution. So it removes the restriction that you have to be a licensed cosmetologist to be a service executive director. And Joni's doing a great job of that anyone can be named as executive director. And then fourth and finally, this is very small, we allow licenses to be transferred from state to state. So if you're licensed in California or Montana or Vermont, you can get your license approved here. We just
Second.
Well, let me add one other thing. We do have a committee sub. Quickly, what we've seen across the United States is a move toward mobile barbering. We're an older society. People can't get to the barbershop. People want to look good. Even if you're at home most of the time, we want to look good. If we look good, we feel good. So this bill allows for mobile barbering. That has worked well throughout the South. The most notable example is the state of Georgia that's rolled this out quite successfully. This bill allows for mobile barbering. Secondly, it allows for the ability of inmates. We talk about workforce, and we talk about second chances. Inmates who are taking learning a barbering trade, doing well. Right now, we have a statute that says that you can only take the license at the principal office.
Perfect. Thank you. Any questions? Clerk, please call the roll.
Representative All.
Yeah.
Representative Banta.
Yes.
Representative Callaway.
Aye.
Representative Kleins.
Yes.
Representative Teets.
Yes.
Representative Donworth.
Yes.
Representative Pfister.
Yes.
Representative Flannery. Yes. Representative Gentry.
Yes.
Representative Hampton.
Yes.
Representative Heverin. Representative Huff.
Yes.
Representative Jackson.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Kulkarni.
Yes.
Representative Meredith. Representative Neighbors.
Yes.
Representative Raymer.
Yes.
Representative Smith. Representative Wilson. Chairman Cook.
Senator Thomas, I always enjoy working with you. I'm sorry we don't have more time. I'm a yes. Your bill carries. That's what's important.
I would be honored if Representative Neighbors would like to carry this bill again on the House floor.
Done. All right. All right. Let's see. Senator Yates, bringing wrestling and boxing back. Come on up.
Chairman Cook, me
Yes.
again. Did I miss a vote on Senate Bill 17?
Yes, Senate Bill 17.
Can I record an aye vote, please?
You can, yes.
Thank you.
Got it. Okay, Senator Yates, introduce yourself and your guest for the record.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is David Yates. I'm a state senator from District 37 in Louisville. I have two guests here with me. I'll let them introduce themselves for the record.
Doug Harden, staff attorney for the Boxing and Wrestling Commission.
Matt Bird, executive director, Boxing and Wrestling Commission.
Colleagues, I will be brief. This is a pretty simple change to KRS 229, and it redefines exhibition. You ask why we have to do this. Right now, the way that our language is set up, they brought to my attention that they otherwise may be operating outside of the law. And a lot of our boxing gyms are really important to our youth for discipline, to grit, to have a safe place to mentor. And by allowing some of the expositions, you otherwise may not be able to have insurance coverage if it's outside of our law.
Motion on the bill.
Second.
All right, any questions? Does anybody really want to vote against those two guys? Clerk, please call the roll.
Representative All.
Yes.
Representative Banta.
Yes.
Representative Callaway.
Aye.
Representative Kleins.
Yes.
Representative Dietz.
Yes.
Representative Donworth.
Yes.
Representative Pfister.
Yes.
Representative Flannery.
Yes.
Representative Gentry.
Yes.
Representative Hampton.
Yes.
Representative Heverin. Representative Huff.
Yes.
Representative Jackson.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Kulkarni.
Yes.
Representative Meredith. Representative Neighbors.
Yes.
Representative Raymer.
Yes.
Representative Smith. Representative Wilson. Chairman Cook.
Yes, bill passes. Congratulations.
Thank you,
Thanks,
colleagues.
gentlemen. Best for last, Senator Nemes. Thank you for your patience, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. This bill does two things. It helps your local charity organizations like your cheerleaders and little leagues have 3 sessions per week in, say, your bingo hall instead of 2, and it helps your volunteers work 6 sessions instead of 4. That's all.
Motion on the bill.
We have a motion. We have a second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Representative All.
Yes.
Representative Banta.
Yes.
Representative Callaway.
Aye.
Representative Kleins.
Yes.
Representative Dietz.
Yes.
Representative Donworth.
Yes.
Representative Pfister.
Yes.
Representative Flannery.
Yes.
Representative Gentry.
Yes.
Representative Hampton.
Yes.
Representative Heverin.
Yes.
Representative Huff.
Yes.
Representative Jackson.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Kulkarni.
Yes.
Representative Meredith. Representative Neighbors.
Yes.
Representative Raymer.
Yes.
Representative Smith. Representative Wilson. Chairman Cook.
I don't know why we would limit volunteer hours. Yes.